Hey guys, so today we've got a double header. It's going to be a bit crazy. We've got Omid coming on straight away, and we're going to be talking about his PreDent journey. And then straight after Omid at 8 o'clock BST, we're going to be talking to David Alleman, and we're going to be talking about biomimetic dentistry. So we've got a double header. It's going to be a bit crazy. Two different topics, very different to each other. I think it'll be really interesting. Hey Brett, we need to organise a new session between me and you, man. Just wait for Omid to join us. I just spoke to him, so he'll be here very, very shortly. And FB, Nikita, what do you mean by FB? Facebook, or I'm not quite sure what we're talking about here. Who else is with us? My mom's watching. Yusra's just joined us. Awesome. How you doing? Where's Omid got to? He's literally on his phone. Literally, I was speaking to him 30 seconds ago. So he's here. He's close. Brave Ortho's here. How you doing? Yeah. So today, first hour today is going to be PreDent journey. So a bit more talk showy, a bit more of a back and forth. We're going to answer your questions, how to boost GPAs, stuff like that. And then the second hour, we're going to be looking at how, if you have a look at Davy's profile, Davy Alleman, he does a lot of biomimetic dentistry, very, very kind of minimally invasive stuff. But I want to ask him a lot about how he goes about that kind of work, his principles behind what he does. So that should be really, really interesting. Sarah DDS is in the house as well. How you doing? Omid is not he's in dental school. I think he's a D2 or D3 now. But he did, from the chat we had before, he didn't have the highest GPA, so he did a couple of other bits and pieces to kind of boost his application. So it's kind of just showing the way that you can actually get into dental school, and it doesn't always have to be that super academic kind of route, and with a really, really high GPA, and that kind of just boosts you along the whole way. Karina's in the house as well. If you didn't see, guys, me and Karina did an incredible session on perioendo lesions. One of the most kind of informative and actually quite fun sessions that we've done. So that's on IGTV. If you missed that, guys, that was really, really good. So make sure you have a little look at that. I wonder where Omid has got to. He's taking us a couple of minutes. Let me send him a request to join the live. He may be waiting on his phone. That might be it. Dr. Seal's here. Dr. Farah. So Farah Antar is coming on this Wednesday, 3 p.m. BST. I think that's 5 p.m. in her time in Lebanon, not Jordan, like I thought for some reason. So that's going to be really fun. A bit about her journey, so that'll be really, really... Hey man, you need to join me. You need to join me on the live stream. Also, we're going to be talking a lot about that stuff. It should be really, really interesting. Omid's managed to join us, and he's in here now. So let's just get him in the house.
Hey, all right, there we go.
You're here.
We made it.
Yeah, you're trying to video call me. I was like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like the first time doing this, to be honest.
Yeah.
We made it, though. We're back.
I had a little chat with the guys just to tell them a bit about you. You're in dental school at the moment. Is it D2 you're in at the moment, or is it D3?
No, it's actually D1. Coming into D1.
Oh.
Coming into the D1, yeah.
Yeah, the baby teeth dentist is very excited about something there.
What's up, baby teeth dentist?
Yeah. So I was just saying, yeah, you obviously did a couple of bits and pieces because your GPA wasn't the highest. You know, it wasn't like is it 4 is the highest in the US? Is it 4 or
Yeah,
5?
so the 4.0 is the highest you could
Yeah.
get.
So you did a few other little bits and pieces to kind of boost your score almost in a way, and kind of like shore up your application. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. So yeah, if you can tell the guys a little bit about your pre-dent journey. So when did you decide you wanted to do dentistry? Were you a bit late in the cycle, or were you always knowing that's what you wanted to do?
So so a little background, like I'm born in, Canada, and my parents were immigrants, moved there. That's where I was born. We moved to Northern Virginia, where I pretty much continued my academic career here, undergraduate. Regarding dentistry as something it's always what I've wanted to do. Like there is nothing else that I ever wanted other than dentistry. Like that was a dream, that was a love, that was a goal. And in high school, it was like when I first got exposed to dentistry. Senior year of high school, I got my first pediatric sterilization tech job, and that's where it started. And then going into college, because of all the prerequisites that dental school requires, it would be ideal and convenient to take biology as your your major. It gets everything taken care of. So that's what I did. I did biology, and I continued on, freshman, sophomore year. But college for me was the first of many things. It was the first of everything for me personally, and my attention was everywhere. So that being said, I didn't really, and I had no guidance. I had no, family members who were doctors. Didn't really have friends that were at the time you're still meeting people, trying to get along, asking for advice here and there. And into my second half of my junior year and my full senior years where I really turned it up. But it was not enough to balance out my average grades that I accumulated over the first half of my college undergraduate career. So I graduate literally with less than a 3.0. I think it was a 2.7 GPA overall. Okay. And at this point, I graduated 2017 from undergrad with my biology, master's. And now I was banking and hoping that my DAT score would balance out my GPA. So if I crossed that 20, I would be at least maybe considered. So I went into the cycle, applying for the 2018 year, fall of 2018. And fast forward, took my DAT twice, 2017, 2018. Awful. Didn't do good. Studied tremendously, but the results didn't come out the way I was hoping to.
Yeah.
So at this point, I had a couple friends who mentioned a program down in Florida, in Miami, Florida, Barry University Biomedical Science program. Didn't really know much about it, looked into it, and I was like, listen, if this is what I got to do to reach the next step, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for it, 100%. So applied. Because of my DAT was 15 both times. The only high score I got was the PAT section, which crossed to 20. And, along this journey, I always still wanted this dream. I wanted to do whatever it took to get to becoming a dentist, getting admitted into dental school. I didn't care what I had to do, but we're going to do it, Yeah. And with that being said, I applied to the biomedical master's program in Miami, got waitlisted, and literally got accepted a couple of weeks before the program started, and packed my things and went. And, and the rest was history. I went from a 2.7 and I was this is the one window of opportunity I've been given, and I have to fully maximize it. I have to give it my all. And that's what I did. I went from literally the 2.7 to a 4.0 student. And from gen ed classes that I was getting C's and whatever average grades in, to getting A's in anatomy, physiology, oral pathology, immunology, neurology, all of these classes, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it wasn't that I was dumb or stupid at that time at 18, 19, 20. It was just the focus and the drive was not there. Instead of paying my attention to all these things, when it came to the master's program, I was all right, this is time to really this is give it your all.
Yeah,
And
I think it's difficult. You go through all of elementary school, high school, and then you guys have something else as well, don't you? Those 3 bits of school you guys have, and then you go into an undergrad.
Yeah, so exactly.
No break. So it can be difficult to kind of keep yourself super motivated the whole way through, all the way up until 28 when you're going to come out of the dental school. So it's not unnatural, I think, unless you've got some super inner drive, which is probably, very rare, that you're going to be able to go through the whole way without having a dip somewhere. So it kind of makes sense that,
And that drive you're talking about, like on this also, like one of the requirements for dental school is shadowing, experience,
mm,
go in the office, and like I said earlier, my first job was a sterilization tech at a pediatric office. Okay. Then throughout college, I worked for an oral surgeon and I assisted him. And then the following year, like towards the end of my college career, I applied for a job, Costa Dentistry, and I've been working for them now on and off, school and back. When I come back home, I'll go in
yeah,
for the past 4 years. And when you find that mentor, like that one individual that you see the end result of this hard journey, like you see the product of those exams, those long nights, all of this hardcore hardship, you'll see the end result. That always like, that drove me to keep on going and keep on pushing. Because, if you don't knock on the door, no one's gonna answer. If you continue knocking, someone's gonna answer the door. So because of those men, that's why it's very important. I think the importance of shadowing and experience is along the journey to find that right mentor for you
mm,
to drive you. And also what you're saying, I literally on YouTube went and watched all the motivational videos I could possibly like get my hands on. And at the end of the day, I realized like, listen, Omid, you're going to be going into that exam on your own. You're going to be applying on your own. You're going to be doing all these things on your own. If you don't have self motivation and
yeah,
self love, nothing external will ever give that to you. Like anyone can talk to you, you can get advice from anybody, but at the end of the day, how much do you want it? If you want
yeah,
it bad enough, you will get it. It's just how much you're willing to go, you know? And like you said, like I strongly believe everything happens for a reason and everything has a time. And if I went to dental school straight out of undergrad, I wasn't academically mature enough to, sustain. I would have definitely not done well at all if I went into school,
yeah.
you
I
know?
think that's kind of almost life in a way. Everyone has their up period, and then they have a period where things go a bit hard, bit more difficult. I'm sure that
100%.
this is maybe a lot of the problem with maybe social media. Sometimes you won't know if I'm having a bad day or a great day, depending on what I've put on a story, for example. That's just not real or representative. What my mental state is, because the whole point of social media is to put your best foot forward. It's very rare that people are going to put themselves up with, no makeup, for example, for girls, or like, show a picture where they're really bloated, or,
You see,
what
100%, like right there, what you're
oh, yeah,
saying is like, okay, like we talked a little bit earlier before this, and I was saying how every time I had a struggle, every time I was searching, because I didn't have like again, no family member, no one to be like, listen, this is what you got to do to get to the next step, right? And I was looking online. Where do you go? You go to YouTube. You start searching videos on students, on dental students, whatever their journey, if they like encountered my problem, my situation, and that whole persona you're talking about, like that whole perfect like fit, those people like who are portraying that, they have a passion as well. But listen, like not everyone comes from a family of doctors. Not everyone comes with
yeah,
genetically being book smart, right? Like for me being like I'm socially fine. Like, socially I'm good. But when it came to the books, it took a lot of like hard work and extra time and effort to master that. And I didn't really relate to any of these people who were talking because they weren't in my position. They never really like showed the behind the struggle. All they show was the product,
yeah,
and make it seem all happy and joyful, but it really isn't, and that's also like leading into hopefully like, later on this chat we'll talk about, but that's the platform that I'm starting to create is real life situations, like my personal story, and someone that you can relate to, someone you can like be have access to ask questions. And I'm so passionate about this field that I'm blessed to have been admitted, and now the
mhm,
next step is to like continue and finish and journey, like document that journey. But the most important part, like something that my boss like enlightened and highlighted for me, what really like resonated with me was when you, as more as you accomplish, the most important thing is to like lend an extending hand and bring the next person up with you. or else what's the
Yeah.
point of being successful? There is no point.
Yeah, there's a guy in the comments. He's saying that he had a similar kind of experience. He's not maybe the most book smart, but he had to work at that kind of side of things more than maybe other guys in this class would. But I think just because you're going to show maybe a little bit more of the struggles doesn't mean that you're going to portray things in a negative light, which is something that some people might kind of,
Not at all.
People kind of bring that up sometimes, like, oh, why are you being negative or X, Y, Z. It can just be, this is an experience. I hope you don't have the same thing. This is what to look out for.
Yeah, and it's not at all like, listen,
Yeah.
being vulnerable is not a weakness. You know what I'm saying? Being vulnerable and being honest and being transparent is not a weakness. There's some people who are more reserved, and when they're making content, for example, since we're talking about content right now and putting stuff out there, they think so much more about what people are going to think of them, and that overshadows who they really are.
And what they're
right?
going to say, yeah.
And what you're going to say, you're scripted, all this stuff, and it just doesn't connect. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, that's why I think being transparent, and listen, when I say like bad grades, right? When I say like 2.7 or 2.8 GPA, it doesn't define who you are. That's not negative. If you take that as negativity, then that's a wrong like type of mentality, to be honest with you. Like, and now when I'm saying I got a 2.7, 2.8 with like a 2.6 science, and I got 15 overall DAT scores twice in a row, right? That didn't stop me. That made me want even more. That's not something negative. That's just that's an obstacle that you gotta overcome in order to get to the next step. And in order to overcome it, you gotta accept your own weaknesses. If my weakness was books and academics, then I gotta do what it takes to overcome that obstacle in order to get to the next step. And if I don't, and I quit and I just lose out on that journey, I don't get the end result.
Yeah, so you obviously you kind of came out with that 2.7, 2.8, and then you did another program to boost it up, to kind of shore up that grade, and you got it over the line as, because that was the bit that you needed to do. What are the other things that people maybe fall down on, do you reckon?
Honestly, when I talk to a lot of people, and now especially recently, because of how much I'm portraying about like how I'm turning my whole profile and content into dentistry, a lot of people have been reaching out, about how to get to the, I'm in a similar situation. What do I do? And besides academics, besides like the 1, 2, 3s, having like self-confidence in yourself and taking risk is something that is needed in order to get big results. I strongly believe in that. Like when I got waitlisted for, first of all, I've never moved for school outside of the state of Virginia, okay, in the United States, all right? So when I got accepted on such short notice, right, I had to take a risk. I had to like literally, I didn't even tell my parents I applied. I was like, what's the point of telling them something that's not manifested yet?
Yeah.
Got accepted, told them I'm leaving, and they trusted and believed in. When you believe in yourself and you know where you're going and you know what it takes to get there, because no one else will ever understand what your dreams are. No one will ever want it more than you will ever want it more, okay? And so I wanted it more. That's all I ever wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I took a risk, a leap of faith, and I just literally packed my car with like my dog and my clothes in the back with nowhere to live and just drove down to Miami, hoping to find an apartment. And when I tell you, it couldn't have been any more successful for me. And the journey was like literally a God-given gift. I got taken care of, you know what I'm saying? So when you're doing the right things and it's manifested for you and it's meant to be for you, as long as you're chasing it, then it will become true. So the biggest thing to answer your question is self-belief and having no limitations and taking that leap of faith. If you take that leap of faith, everything will manifest itself as long as you continue working for it and putting your all into it. Because everyone's like, oh, if I don't go to dentistry, I'm gonna have a plan B.
Yeah.
Listen, when you have a plan B, how are you giving your all to plan A? You're not. So either be all in or be all out. When you have A and B, your energy and your attention is divided into two separate things. I don't believe in that. I believe going head on all the way in and going 110% into one plan. And that's what I've done. And it's worked for me personally. And when I ask anyone and when they're like, oh, I don't know, or doubt them, listen, if you want to get to this level and you want to get into school and make your dreams come true, this is what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? It worked for me, and I'm a living example from literally nothing to something. So if you want that to happen, this is what you got to do. And again, that's it. Risk, faith, and giving your all. Hard work. And then the end result will be there. And also another big thing is people want to like think 10 steps ahead instead of worrying about right now, the first step.
Yeah.
You know, focus on that one quiz, focus on that one exam, focus on the graduation, and then focus on the application. And then when you apply to dental school, you will have mastered every single step, and you will become the best dentist that you can possibly become. So don't think about other people. Don't compare yourself to others. Stay in your lane, focus on yourself, focus on the now, and the rest will manifest itself.
Yeah, I
100%.
think that's really important to. I think that comparing yourself to other people, you know, because everyone has a different start and a different kind of journey and different issues to overcome. There's a video that I posted last night on my story, the one where it's they're all start at the start line of like a race, and the guys said, "Oh yeah, we've got $100 bill. Whoever wins the race gets $100." And he goes, "Before we start, if you had to, you know." There was a whole bunch of things like, oh, if you went to private school, 2 steps forward. If you went to,
100%. And
you've seen the video. It's
like
quite funny.
it's amazing, isn't it? And the thing is, like, your background and your journey, right, is completely different than mine. Everyone has a separate journey. Not everyone, not everyone has like it's fair. Life isn't fair, okay? Like, but you can make life what you want out of it. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of the whole thing. It's like
that's the point. And listen, like private school, not private school, get a head start, have a connection, not a connection, all these things, it doesn't matter. Listen, like you got to do what it takes to get to your dream. Dentistry, not dentistry, whatever. And you know how they say, like, do what you love? Listen, that's a very easy saying and everyone just throws it around, but it's very difficult to find a love. Okay. But like when you do find that love, nothing will ever stop you from accomplishing it. No negativity, no hate, no obstacle. You're going to figure it out because that's all you want to do in your life. Right. So that's the first step. And then, I had a lot of my great friends, close friends who are like a year older than me. They were all getting admitted into dental school. A lot of friends that were my age were getting admitted into dental school. That's fine. That's fine. That is their time. That is their path. I'm going to focus on me. Like comparing yourself, the energy that you spend on someone else is energy wasted. Spend that energy on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I think it all comes around like full circle. It's like if you really focus on your lane, focus on yourself, give it your all and eliminate all the noise that's going around you, because it doesn't matter what he does or she does. It matters what you do. And this self-motivation and self-drive like really was for me, honestly, the only thing. And my love for dentistry, combining all my talents into one business, one field that I can give my talent to the world would be through dentistry. And that's what drove me to be where I am like today, So, and again, like going back, you as well, like people know your story, and everyone has a story. So what do you do about it?
Yeah. 100. I completely agree. I think it's like, it's one of those things, especially that saying that gets thrown around. But once you find that thing, then things do become kind of like less stressful because you already have that inner belief in what you're doing. So
100%.
There's no like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing?
No
I think
self-doubt.
If you do have that self-doubt, then maybe rethink, is this the right path? So I don't think that's wrong to do that either. Because if there is some self-doubt in there, you need to address that before
like you mentioned earlier, with our age and our time and our generation, social media, okay? Social media, you mentioned that like a couple minutes ago, is huge, okay? Everything is on social media, all right? And it is a benefit and it's also a harm. It depends how you use it. And if you're keep on looking and watching other people and their situation, and also coming back full circle again to the first point you said, about, you know, like comparing and contrasting and all this nonsense. Listen, create your own story. You know what I'm saying? And you got to block all that out of your vision. And people want the ease. They just want the result. They don't want the grind, you
Yeah.
know? And it goes back to like what we said. People just show the, oh, like sunshine and rainbows. And in any field you're in, that's not the case whatsoever. Like whoever has gotten the best in life knows that it was a grind. It was a hardship. It was not easy. It was long nights, long days, you know, and that's a reality.
Yeah, it's kind of speaking of social media, you're obviously doing a couple of bits now to kind of help guys along. So what kind of like content are you doing on your Instagram? And you have like a YouTube, right?
Yeah, so pretty much for a long time, but for a long time, people have been telling me to start a YouTube channel, a vlog, because of like,
Mm.
I guess my personality. I'm really never ever sad. Like I'm always like exciting and like ready to go, you know? So
I call it
because
being
of
American, to be fair. So.
yes, like everyone for the longest time was just like, oh me, you have to start a vlog. You have to start a vlog. And because of my school and my focus, I'm an all in or all out guy. If I'm gonna start a vlog, we're gonna start a vlog. It's gonna be a good vlog.
Mm.
And so I started doing it recently in December, and I took some time off of it because of interviews and school and finals and wrapping just everything up. And now I have like a good amount of time before dental school starts in July. So I took this time to really like get my own camera, learn about the vlogging life, about the YouTube channel. So if you look at my Instagram name and the name of the YouTube channel, so my Instagram name is Dr. Waitbaby, and the YouTube channel is called Waitbaby Family, three separate words. And wait,
Right.
everyone's like, what does wait mean? Well, wait is an acronym. And I've been known my whole life, like ever since college, to say we are in there. Like we're always in there, baby. So I created an acronym called WAIT.
Just around
We
there.
are in there. And it's like people always like laugh about it and they don't even know my name. They know me by like Wait Baby. And but the point of the whole phrase is listen, like whatever you want to do, you can always be in there. You can always
Yeah.
achieve your goals. You can always give it your all. And it's just a fun acronym that applies to my type of lifestyle of just always being in there and accomplishing your goals and your dreams. So I recently, like my early videos were just like travel, fun content. And now I have like, from now on, everything that I'm gonna be posting and uploading is solely going to be around like dentistry and not just stereotypical like, you know, old school dental. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be on my story. I'm going to show like the composites and extractions in the office. And I've already done the hygiene maintenance one that was like, you know, fun and exciting. So I'm just going to give a nice perspective of dentistry, a new age perspective that's educational, fun to watch, and hopefully help at least just like one person out there that can relate and that, you know,
Yeah.
is struggling whether academically or needs to increase their volunteer hours or whatever around their application that it might be. And I will never, ever tell someone or give someone any kind of advice if I have not been through it myself. Like I will never say anything that I have not experienced personally. So when I say something, it's I 100% believe in it because I've done it. I've been there, I've experienced it, and it's worked. So
Mm.
that's the new like campaign. That's what we're launching, and it's so far it's gotten like, you know, I'm blessed and grateful for like even one subscriber or one view. So I appreciate like all the support, and it's gotten an amazing like feedback and response. So that's awesome, and we'll
Yeah.
keep it up.
And everybody subscribe to you because creative and quite innovative, and also go and like Christina's feature that we just put up today. So there's two in one for you guys to go into there.
100%.
Yeah, I think we had like almost a similar kind of, obviously not the same because everyone's journey is very different, but similar kind of motives with the social media side of things. Mine initially, I mean, you can have a little look. I'm gonna undock this for a
Yeah,
second.
pull it up.
So you can see I've got all the whole YouTube set up. But you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah, I saw earlier when you were previewing, it was like it was crazy. The mic is really nice. That mic is dope.
Yeah, but then things kind of changed on me a little bit. Hold on, let me just.
Wait, so did you research that yourself, or did you have like someone, you know, who was in that business to like give you advice on what to get, equipment to get, stuff like that?
I, ca- I knew a lot about it already, but also one of my friends runs a football YouTube channel for like a fan
Oh,
channel.
Nice.
Manchester United. So he's absolutely killing it with his. He's involved in like 3 or 4 channels, so he's doing really well. So if I had any questions, I kind of asked him about it. But then this whole Instagram live thing kind of changed it on its head. I almost don't need the mic. I don't need the webcam anymore. The light's perfect though. The light's brilliant.
The lighting's good. The lighting is really good. Lighting's everything. It's all the lighting.
I need to find out about your backdrop though, because my backdrop's.
Oh, I'll send you a link on Amazon. I got you.
This annoys me every time I see it. This annoys me every time I see it on the.
Oh my god! I didn't even notice until you pointed it out. I thought it was part of the thing. No, the backdrop. Listen, green screens or black or white backdrops is amazing.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link after this for sure.
No,
it's just like I don't know if you're familiar, but in Miami, there's pretty much 2 like really big events that the city just shuts down. It's like Music Week, and the second one in December is Art Basel. It's when like a bunch of artists around the world come to the city. All the entertainers come. The clubs are packed. You know, you go see art shows. It's awesome. It's a great experience. If you guys haven't been, you should definitely check it out. But I ran into a guy in an event, similar age. And he was doing videography, and then he followed me on Instagram, saw the stories, and he really taught me. He started making the content, like videotaping and editing, while I would make the content in front of the camera. And then long story short, I was like, you know, obviously we all have separate lives and stuff, and if I wanted to continue it, I had to like really learn about like the vlogging life and what camera to use, and because every camera is different for every individual, the microphone, the lighting, the backdrops, you know, the editing, like that's huge. So it's all a learning process.
What are you using for editing? Because I know this is going way off topic now, but guys, if you've got any questions about PreDent, drop them in the comments. We're going to talk about this now because it's almost more interesting. But I started off, and I'm using Final Cut at the moment. But then I have Lightroom and Photoshop and After Effects for photography and stuff like that. I can't work out whether I've picked the right one in terms of Final Cut. What are you guys using?
Yeah, so if you watch my videos and stuff, you'll see like the editing, obviously. But I use iMovie, to be honest with you. I was like, I'm gonna start with iMovie because it's just so. At first, when I looked at it, it was like hella confusing. It was just really. Because I've never edited it in my life. Like I literally just started editing about a month ago, you know? And the first couple videos was edited by my friend Mark Ortiz, and he would do the videography and editing. So he would use Adobe. But then I used iMovie. I was like, listen, this is working for me so far on the MacBook. So I'm going to continue using it until if I need to like really do something crazy, then maybe I'll do it Adobe. But regarding like simple, great editing, like honestly, it really comes down to the camera. Like the camera quality is everything, honestly.
Yeah, I think you're kind of the stuff you're doing is more like vlogging. So it's down to how you take the vlog and like the lighting and stuff like that. So that I think that makes a big difference as well. And I'm really interested in all this stuff.
No, 100%. I really like, and then once I got started and it started rolling, like you just can't stop. You got to keep on doing it, and a lot of it. Listen, like. It's all the camera for like good quality, and then it's also the personality and the content. And then most of all, with anything in life, is consistency. And also I'll put some videos on that too, like the stuff I use, the equipment I use, and how I started all of this. Because listen, I'm all about like, I'm not the kind of guy where it's mysterious. Like when someone asks me and they want to like, you know, advance in their life with like things that I've done, you know, they want to start vlogging or whatever, they've never done it before, I will always like extend a helping hand. You know.
How long was your master's program? After the undergrad?
Okay, I see that question. All right, so the Barry's biomedical master's program, a little bit of background is like, first of all, on paper, it's literally the #1 master's program in the country, in the United States. Okay, so I highly recommend it to anyone who needs that GPA boost or wants to mature academically. Okay, so there are 2 scenarios. Me personally, I was not in the cycle. So I started like the dental cycle. I started the program fall of 2018, and I was on a 2-year course. Okay, because I don't want to rush. I'd rather get A's than B's. I'd rather take my time with the classes and do really well enough to bring that GPA up than just rush. Like there is no rush here. All right, do well, take your time, put those grades in. Okay, get those A's. So that's one route. I did a 2-year route. You know, fall of 2018. Spring of 2019, took my DAT again with iPrep Dental. summer of 2019, and I also
Yeah.
applied summer of 2019. And then I finished off my semester and just graduated this past spring of 2020. There's some students who are already in the cycle when they apply to the master's program, Barry's program. And what they do is they apply to dental school. They let the dental schools know that they're also starting a master's, and the dental schools wait and see how they're performing in the master's program after the first like semester. Let's say you
Right.
get A's, all right, they're doing well, all right, great, we're going to extend the interview. If you get that interview, you can complete your master's program in like 3 semesters roughly. So you can shorten that 2-year time span because you're already in. All you got to do is graduate, take the courses required, and go on to dental school the following fall.
Yeah.
So it depends on your situation, but it is standard for 2 years, but you can shorten it for less than 2 years if you're already in the cycle. And also, Barry, a little side note, like beyond their record and their stats, their the amount of dental, specifically dental students that get admitted into dental school is literally second to none. Like about roughly on average 64 kids a cycle apply, every one of them get in with multiple offers. So no other master's program in my opinion, or what I know of, has those stats. So with the amazing support system they have there. So they do, they're really like student centric out there, and it really like changed my academic career and my life, honestly. So
Yeah, I think it makes sense if you know that that's what you want to do. It sounds like this kind of program is something that's gonna stick you right at the top of that list when dental schools have a look at you. What's that?
100%. And what you just said there, that puts you in a separate list. Like when you're an undergraduate student, like I'll say for Tufts University, for example, or any dental student, like when you're just coming out of undergrad, you are in an ocean. Like you're in an ocean of applicants. Like I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, but Tufts, for example, gets like what, 6,000 roughly applicants a year. Okay, when you get the interview and you make that phone call, they're like, congratulations on the interview. Only less than 10% of our applicants get an interview. I'm like, all right, bless up. Like, that's awesome. And then don't quote me again on this, but like less than like 4% get admitted. So my point being, when you're saying that whole like top of the list, when you're doing a master's, like don't think master's programs are a bad thing. They're nothing to be ashamed of. They're nothing to be sad about. There's nothing like, don't listen to anyone that says, no, don't waste your time with the master's. Listen, like master's programs are awesome, but the right one. And when you go to a master's, 100%, like you literally take yourself from an ocean of applicants to a pool, like a pool of applicants. And at Barry, at least, speaking for Barry, we have representatives from multiple dental schools across the country coming and giving us presentations, and they keep track of which students came to the meetings for when they apply. Like, all right, this kid has been interested in our school for a very long time. They've been staying in contact with us. They got the grades, So you're really like, making yourself very exclusive in a master's program.
Yeah.
So what you said is 100% correct. Putting yourself at the top of that list.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
if it's what you have to do, then that's kind of the route you should be taking. And what if you don't have money for the masters? That just become probably a bit more difficult then, doesn't it? I mean,
so I can speak on that too if you want a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
When it comes to master's programs, and this is all solely on my experience, on my like financial aid, all that stuff. So when it comes to master's programs in the United States, the government really like funds you. It's not like undergrad where you got to try to pick apart your money and whatever. Like literally for Barry University, there are 2 loans you apply for. All right. One of the loans is called FAFSA. Everyone knows about FAFSA. FAFSA covers your tuition. Okay. Covers all of your tuition. So you're good with that. Regarding rent or bills or car, whatever extracurricular that you need, like living expenses, if financially you need money, there is another loan that if anyone's interested, can like message me and I'll give you, more detail about it. But it's called like a graduate parent plus loan, I believe. And it will give you every semester money for those extra, expenses. So the point of the story is there's always a way, even financially, there's a way. And in this field, listen, unless you're very, very wealthy and fortunate, you're going to be $500,000 in debt regardless in dental school. So an extra, like, $20,000 to $50,000 here to get you to dental school is not really going to make a dent if you think about it, grand scheme of
Yeah,
things.
the
So
States is really crazy with that. I mean, when I did it, I was paying 3 grand a year, and that was it.
isn't my boss right now, Dennis, we were talking, this man paid
Mm.
$12,000 US dollars a year. Now we're paying
60, 70.
now
Yeah.
we're paying like almost $100,000 a year for the same profession. You know, it's crazy. And listen, when it comes to financials, you just got to do what it takes to get to where you need to be. Okay. Like
Mm.
when it comes, don't put you got a small window of opportunity at a young age to accomplish like the most, especially when it comes to studying. The younger you are, the better it is for you. Like the
Yeah.
older you get, things just get harder. It's just how it is. So don't let financials stop you. Like find a way. And me personally, like my parents, they're like, if you're gonna go to Miami and you're gonna go to this masters, we're not gonna support you. Everyone thinks like, how is he doing this? How's he doing that? My parents didn't support me. I worked, I got what I needed for my tuition, and I went. And when it's meant to be, it will be. So there's always a way. It's just how much are you willing to give and find out the way. Find out how to get
Yeah,
over that
I think
obstacle.
that's kind of, it's not easy, but you kind of got to look at the couple of resources that you kind of shouted out there, and then hopefully you'll find something that gives you the right kind of back in and all those sorts of things. You might have to do summer jobs instead of going on holidays if other guys are going on holidays, so that might be not your time to go on the
100%.
holidays yet, but that's fine. So
100%. And like, listen, if like, and it goes back to that point we made earlier. Like, not everyone, like, if your friends are all going out, if your friends are spending all this money on trips, listen, it doesn't matter. Your friends aren't you. Like, you have a
mm,
situation that's different. You got a path that's different. Do not ever compare your life to anyone else and learn to say no, because your temporary sacrifice right now in your early 20s will give you such long-term prosperity and success in your late 20s and your early 30s and for the rest of your life. So, what you're saying, a little bit of sacrifice here and there and not doing this, not doing that is okay. You're not missing out on anything.
yeah,
Stick to the goal, stick to the dream, and every step you take and every decision you take in your life, make sure it's going towards that dream. Do not waste a step. Do not waste your time. Like, don't waste your time on invaluable things. If it doesn't like benefit you for where you need to be, don't give it attention. Simple as
yeah.
that.
Hi
You know?
Sarah, thanks for joining us. Dr. Oral Health is there as well. We are going to be speaking to you tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. She's going to be talking about Harvard Dental School. Again, similar kind of chat to this, but maybe a bit more like open-ended. I think we're going to go super open-ended tomorrow. And Alina saying everything you said is kind of true, and and Sarah's saying the same thing as well. So I think a lot of guys are kind of in agreement with the bits that we've kind of brought up there. What we've been doing, I don't know if you've caught any of the lives we've done this week or since kind of last Thursday.
It's the chiropractor one. That was really cool.
Yeah. Did you see that we got her to put on her favorite emojis? Five most used.
No way.
So
Well, I
you're
didn't
gonna
see
drop
that
these
part.
down. You're gonna drop these down. So mine haven't changed since yesterday, guys. So sorry about that. But there we go. If you're watching, drop yours in as well because it's just a bit of fun. So there's mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this too. This is pretty cool.
So yeah, guys, any questions for me or for Omid, just drop them in the question down below. Yeah, looking forward to Ida. It'll be really fun tomorrow to see what you're up to and how things are going. How's the whole coronavirus thing where you are?
So pretty much everyone was panicking early on. I was in Miami. My lease was not supposed to end until like later on this summer. And because of a whole coronavirus and the subleases and students not moving,
Mm.
we had to end that and come back to Virginia. But honestly, it was pretty bad early and restriction wise. But our dental office that I mentioned before, we were closed down for a while. So things are starting to open up, and so I started working at the office. Back at the office now, we're seeing patients, but instead of like coming into the office, we're doing like curbside waiting rooms. So you wait in your
Yeah,
car, you
yeah,
get a phone call, PPE equipment, sanitize, take the temperature, full body gowns, face shields. So I mean, it's a new normal. Like masks. It's funny because we've always been wearing masks. in our whole like journey, and now people are starting to like be accustomed to it. And I mean, it's a new normal, honestly. And I think people are very like itching to like get back to like normal life, but things are like loosening up. The barbershops are opening, restaurants are starting to like open up, and
You can tell
but
they're not opening up where I am.
yeah, no, I get a haircut too, honestly. And but even our whole in Boston for Tufts, and I'm sure like the other dental schools might be similar in the area, but we're completely remote. Our first semester is going to be completely online. Like it's been announced. So that's going to be an interesting like transition right there. And
I think it makes sense. I mean, you know, a
yeah,
lecture at home. What's the difference between a lecture at home where you can drop a comment in to ask a question versus a lecture in person where actually if you're sat there and you think you might have a stupid question, you're not going to put your hand up, but actually it might be a really good question. Where it's much easier, as
yeah.
we all know, or caught it. It's much easier, as we all know, to be a keyboard warrior and ask that question than it is to be sat there and say it out
Oh,
loud.
100%. And I think this whole coronavirus has really like restructured education. Like people realize that you could do everything, from the comfort of your own home via Zoom or whatever. And honestly, it would be a different situation if like the city itself was open, but there's nothing to do in the city. Everything's shut down in Boston. Like we're gonna go there doing the exact same thing that we would be doing at home. So regardless, like it's okay. I'm not really like, worried about it. It's gonna be, everything's gonna be online and we'll just go through it and adjust. And that's
Yeah,
what
I
it
mean,
is.
you'll miss out on a bit of the social life, but
Exactly. That's the only thing.
but
That's the only
in the
thing.
long term, I mean, what does it really matter? From my experience, yeah, it was great in uni. And we had a great time in dental school, and lots of people are around. But after it's all finished, you speak to two or three guys, and that's about it. Like,
Literally, story about like
what
literally
what does
even
it matter if you
undergrad,
miss out on these whole
like
parties and stuff? It's kind
yeah,
of like,
yeah.
who
You meet
cares?
all these people, and at the end of the day, like you literally get like a handful of best friends, and
Yeah,
that's it. And the social life can wait. Honestly, it can wait till January. It's not even that big of a deal. I mean, it comes down to the school and the academics mainly, and that's what you're going there
that's
for.
why you're there. Yeah, I mean that's why you're
Yeah,
there. I mean, and if
and
you
you got
want to,
literally what 3.5 more years to meet friends, so
mm,
it's okay. I'm
and then
really. It sucks for like the third and fourth years because they have clinicals and they got
oh yeah, well that's a different
that's what's
situation.
like a bad
Yeah,
situation.
that's a whole other sort of situation. But I mean, even if you do miss out on a lot of that, I mean, just because you missed out on a couple of months, it's not like I went to CDS midwinter meeting. You meet loads of people there. You're gonna, and at that point, you're kind of a bit well. In the UK, we start at 18, so everyone's really, really immature. And then, you come out after dental
Yeah,
school, 23, 24, 25. But at that point, you're kind of more grounded. You're a proper adult now because you've got a bit of responsibility. You're going to now
100%. The maturity is there.
know your
Yeah,
kind of person. You're going to know your kind of person. So, it's going to be different. You're more likely to meet with and talk to people who are more along your lines. So that's probably going to be better for you anyway. So I don't think it's
100%.
too bad. Sarah is asking, she wants to be a dentist. Is a very difficult. I think this is Sarah. I'm going to put this on IGTV. I think you want to have a good watch of the kind of the first half an hour that we did.
Yeah,
I think we covered it really, really well there. But if you know that you want to do it, you're going to have to go through the steps and just kind of go all in. I think that kind of sums up what we were saying, and everybody's kind of journey is a bit different. So there might be things that you need to do that other people didn't. Might be things that other people are going to have to do that you're not going to have to do. So yeah, definitely go for it.
100%.
Let's have a look. Any other questions? Not for the moment. What happened to your emojis, man?
My emojis, you want to see these? It's
Yeah,
pretty much just busting up.
where they at?
I do this a lot, and then I do where are they at? This a lot, and then I do
Those are all the same ones, man.
no. Just wait. It's this process. You bless up. Oh, the love. Yeah, we could do love too. It's all love, and we're launching. We're going nowhere but up, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go. Oh, and this girl, the salsa dancing is a must. You gotta always be dancing your way through life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that looks exactly like you, man. I mean, I just uncanny the likeness there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think let's have a little look. I think that's most of what we're going to talk about in terms of like the dental school and how to get in, all that sort of stuff. Um, but yeah,
100%. No, I mean, if anyone, once we end this chat and everything, anyone has any questions, if you're a pre-dent, if you're trying to figure it out, whatever, like definitely follow my page, definitely like DM me, ask me whatever questions you want. Don't be shy about it, and we'll go from there. And I can help you as much as I know that I've been through. I can like give that advice to you. But again, like you said earlier, it's all about the love. It's all about if you want it, go experience dentistry, go work for an office, go see if you can handle a 7 to 7 schedule, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., seeing patients, the hecticness, reacting on the fly, adjusting, all that stuff. See if you love it. If you love that chaos, that beautiful chaos,
also
then go ahead.
there are different types of practice out there, so get a wide variety of kind of
Oh,
experience.
yeah.
Because I mean that's completely different to how I would like to work. So for me,
Oh, yeah.
I want to do endo. I want to see 4 or 5 patients a day, maybe 6 if at a real push. And it's gonna
On a bad day, yeah.
it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be chilled out. I'm gonna have 20 minutes between patients to have a coffee and
Yeah. A
maybe
little snack, a little
shake,
cookie.
protein shake, maybe chicken and rice. Um, so yeah, I think there's a lot of different kind of practices out there. So you can definitely find something to suit you.
No,
Um,
100%. It's all
um,
about like if you get that experience first, then you can set that goal and set that love for it, and that's it. And we have
mm,
another question. The why doctor? All right, the why doctor because the journey, like literally the whole journey is to get in dental school. And the moment you're in dental school, you are on your way of becoming a doctor. But the Doctor Waitbaby is more of a brand. So I'm in dental school. I'm on my path to becoming a doctor, and we're gonna accomplish that goal. Like it's gonna happen. So that's why I started to make because I didn't want to interrupt the brand halfway through, like 4 years later.
yeah.
From Waitbaby to Doctor Waitbaby. So
Yeah, one of my kind of Insta friends, he's had to recently change his name because everyone thought his name was Skylark and it's John Brown, and
and now he's a completely new man on social media. So
and
like it's
it's
like
like wait, what, you have a different name now? What's going on there, bro?
yeah, exactly. So I don't want to create any confusion. People got to know. You got to
Yeah,
know the face of the name, and that's it, and the content, and we're good to go.
yeah, no,
So
I think that's kind of social media. That's again one of the things. If your branding is your branding, you gotta go strong with it. Um,
100%.
that's I think that was the only question we dropped in there. So I'm moving forward so I can see. Um, you can see I've been out in the sun today, red as anything.
Yeah, you're very tan. Well, are you in the UK?
Yeah,
How I heard like there is barely any sunlight there. It's like
no, in the winter it's really pretty dark and grey, but today has been like 25 degrees.
how are
Um,
you guys with the virus? How's it going? Because I was gonna like I have a couple friends in the
really
UK
bad,
actually, really good
real
friends.
bad.
Really?
Yeah. Um, so we have a government kind of like yours that doesn't believe in science and doesn't believe in experts. So
Touche, my friend.
yeah, so we have like Trump light. Um,
Yeah.
so everyone, well, not everyone kind of knew this, but a lot of people saw the whole thing going down in Italy, and they were like, "We need to lock down because this is going to be us
Yeah.
soon." And they
Yeah.
were like, "Nah, it's all good, bro. It's chill, it's chill."
Dude,
But the
things
problem,
happen here overnight. Like overnight,
yeah,
just everyone,
there was a video I
shut down,
posted
locked
a while
down.
back, and there was this researcher, and it's somewhat it's on the IGTV, guys, if you haven't seen it, and he was explaining just how fast this thing can actually spread. So it's like one guy gets it, doesn't know for 5 days. By the time and this is in kind of normal movement back before everything got locked down, and he was like, "Yeah, if you don't cut the movement, it was something like you've infected 63,000 people from one guy."
Easily, without even knowing
Yeah,
it. 100%. No, even
absolutely.
before we opened our office,
Mm,
we every single employee, our bosses went out of their way. They didn't have to, but they went and hired a private pharmacy, TED Pharmaceuticals, to come and test us for antibodies. So if we had like IgG, IgM, or we got C being clear.
yeah.
So they went out of their way. We all got cleared, and then we were able to go back to work. And then if you were positive for coronavirus, you have to wait the whole 2 weeks, and then get tested again. So yeah, man, it's just a whole new norm. Everything's on restriction, you know, and it's gonna be like this for God knows how long. But it is slowly like going towards the upward trend, and that's a whole like conflict right now, like the
Yeah.
science and the emotion, and you know which team are you part of? And at the end of the day, there has to be a middle ground, and you
Yeah,
know
I think it's pretty. The issue is we look like the worst in Europe at the moment. So, uh, we're gonna. Well, I'm not putting
where
it
you
on.
located exactly?
Well, UK. Yeah, so
Uh,
the UK. Yeah,
oh, you're the worst in Europe at the moment. That's what you
yeah.
said. Oh, okay, yeah.
So I mean, it's very hard to kind of know, because a lot of people are reporting differently. But there was an article that came out, like I think it was us or Spain, is one of us is going to be the worst in Europe. So we're gonna have to find out how it goes down. So
It was literally a
might
day
be a
by day
while.
thing as new information comes down, and then they went from you know stay at home to like to wear the mask and like you know lower the curve, and now they're like a lot of people are saying like we're not opening up you know big stuff until a vaccine comes out.
Mm.
Vaccines don't just
Like
come
18
out, you
months down
know,
the line. So yeah,
and on a good day, like that's you know that's like
it
soonest.
works.
So it takes more than a year to do this. So yeah, I mean, like I said, mass gatherings, lecture rooms, like regarding dental school and stuff like that. You know, these online classes is for this. You know, hopefully just for the fall, but God knows what happens. You know, going on to spring because you have mass like you know auditoriums and lecture halls of
Mm.
you know about 100 kids. You know, sitting in there. You
Yeah,
know,
I think part of the thing is like if everyone had shut down super early, you know, back when some of, for example, the Gulf countries did, they're all open again now, and Australia's back
yeah.
open. They're working without extra masks, so they did it early. They stopped all the movement. They found out who's got the disease, and they were like, okay, who have you been in contact with? And they just quarantined all those guys.
No,
And
man, the communication and the timing was like
done.
really off. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was really,
and
really off.
they're back in work now, so it means it shows that it can be controlled,
It shows
but
it works. Yeah, if you
yeah,
do that. Um,
but us guys and you guys haven't done it, not properly
no,
anyway.
we haven't. No, not at all. And you
That's
know, America is like land of the free, and everyone has their own opinions. And honestly, we do what we want when we want it, and no one really like you know, everyone has a limit, you know. And when you break that limit, it causes like chaos. So,
in Waitbaby.
Jeff Monet, yeah, what's up, Jeff?
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be the kind of how things go. So we'll have to see. That's kind of the situation over here.
No, the world right now, especially like what's going on in America recently with the deaths and the killings
mm,
and on the coronavirus is just it's not a good situation right now, like whatsoever. And I mean, it's good we're talking about coronavirus as well, but also with you know, the Floyd and the Floyd family, with that whole like situation that's happened this week and the recent events in Georgia, like that definitely needs to be, you know, talked about. That definitely needs to be highlighted, and so people like have to start a conversation about that in order to make a difference, you know, just like anything else. So there's a lot of
yeah,
going on
I
right
don't think we
now,
have time
and
to kind of go into that because uh, it's crazy how many times something like that is going to have to happen before they just root it out,
listen,
and you know.
I have I have a lot of like African American friends, okay, who are like personal to me and they're in my life. They're very close to me, okay, and I just want to like real quick put like a little message out there that
Yeah,
silence,
sure. We have
being
about 2 minutes
silent,
to
like
go.
that's fine. Like to end this whole thing on this current event, I know people know what's going on, but that's not enough. You can't just know what's going on. You got to speak about it. You got to start a conversation. You got to start a movement. Conversations spark
Mm,
discussions, which start movements. And we are all one community, hand in hand. There is no black, there's no white, there's no Asian, Hispanic. It's just we are one mankind. We are oneness. Okay, we're
yeah.
family. And just because one person is doing this and it's completely, and that was just caught on camera. Imagine how much is going on like behind the scenes on a day-to-day basis that we
Off
don't know
camera.
about.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
my main message is like as much as you can do, whether you can donate, whether you can go support or fund the GoFundMe accounts for those protesters who are going to prison because of what they're believing in, whether you can go fund the Floyd family or take part of something peaceful that helps the society regarding this situation. And also use your social media platforms, whether it's a small post on your story or a post on your Instagram, to spread
Mm,
awareness on what's going on, because silence is not the answer. And we are one mankind. I got friends who are affected by this. And if they're
yeah.
hurt, then I'm hurt. You know, it's not cool for me to just sit here and know about it and not say anything about
And
it.
that's
You
yeah.
know,
I think that's
we are one
100%.
family, hand in hand, and we got to do something about it. And we have to speak up to start a